Cool. All right.
And I don't know. Whoa!
So,
What was that?
I don't know.
I thought I saw a pop up that said we're live streaming,
Let's fucking go. Live
but
streaming some shitty AV issues. That would be the best.
live stream.
Where are we even live streaming to if it is like we just on Riverside? They have some sort of
Hello, world.
hello world.
Yeah, I have
Hello.
no idea.
That'd be hilarious. This whole time we're just live streaming to people. Just like fucking Truman Show. They're like super famous. He doesn't even know it. You know, everyone's watching him, just laughing at him.
I'm so confused. It says we're live streaming, dude. Maybe because we ended that other one, and then
Welcome to episode 5 of the You Don't Know podcast.
Where we help
Three
you diagnose
amigos.
your AV problems.
well, hopefully, even if it is live streaming, that we can get it like that. It still records, right?
I
No,
think
it's still recording. See
Yeah,
how it's
yeah.
uploading still?
Yep. Yeah, I
All
can
right,
see
well.
and it says recording at the top of the screen on my end. It says recording, and for a minute since I've been back on after the 80th time I fucking reset.
Okay. Well, let's
Well.
just roll with it.
Yeah, god damn it. Cool beans. All right. Well, I do like, we'll probably never get there, but it would be funny, the hard edit of Frank doing the intro with me without headphones, and then it cuts back in and randomly I have headphones on again.
I mean, we probably will do that.
You know, just like it just constantly throughout. It's like one scene, it's headphones on, next scene, headphones off, beanie on, baseball cap, just constantly switch it up. Be hilarious. But anyways, we were talking about finger bones as pterodactyls, I think was where we were.
We left off at Frank sharing 90s gadgets.
Oh, is that what he was doing? I do love that.
While he was doing that, I was talking about 3 digits dactyls.
3-digit dactyls, I think was what it was. Yeah. Speaking of like 90s tech that may come back, right? Because we're kind of trying to do something where we talk about like different generations and stuff like that. But nowadays social media is much more prevalent, and one of the things that has been a problem is people trying to like stop using social media, right? And so I found it was on the news. They had this piece that they were doing on an app called Focus Friend, I want to say. And the way it works is it's kind of like a Tamagotchi from the 90s. You guys remember those little like keychain pets that people would have on their like belts or whatever?
Yeah.
And it's this so you download it and it's a little app and you open it up and it's got a little cartoon bean. And you give it a name and it kind of talks to you and stuff like that. And it is trying to knit socks and scarves. But the only way it can do that is if you set a timer for, let's say, 15 to 30 minutes, and then you don't touch your phone. So it's an incentive for you to put your phone down for like a period of time. And then when you pick it up, if you've lasted the 15 minutes, you get rewarded with the thing being able to like create the socks, which you can then use to buy like decorations for the room and shit like that. So it's kind of like a little like resource development / environment building game that's based on you not touching your phone, which I thought was pretty cool. And I downloaded it and I was playing around with it. It is actually, it kind of works if you're gonna like let it be a stimulus for you, right? Like if you respect the fact that if you don't make the time limit correct, you lose those resources. Like it's helped me a few times. Like I had it open and I'm working and I don't want to like multitask and like be looking at my phone every 2 seconds. Put the timer for like an hour, something like that. And like I catch myself like wanting to, like I'll pick it up and look at it and I'll see the little like bean thing on my phone and be like, oh shit, I can't do that. And I'll put it back down. And it's like a weird like little reminder to be like, stop doing this, and it seemed to work. That was pretty cool. Very, very 90s though, Tamagotchi style.
As long as the incentive, like you actually care about it knitting socks. I could see people being like, oh, I don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like, I would imagine there's probably other versions of it. If there isn't, I'm sure people are probably like, hey, why don't we make one where the little like it's a little socket wrench and it works on a car, and every time you like put it down, it is able to build the car a little bit better, something more macho, or like different style themes, things like that, so you can attract different crowds to it, would be interesting.
Yeah. It'd be cool to do that with like games. Like, you know how, I don't know, like motorcycle games where you have to, you can buy upgrade bikes, or car games, whatever. You can upgrade your car. And
Hmm.
so, but you have to get the coins to
Hmm.
purchase that. So if you don't touch your phone for an hour, then you get so many coins to purchase the
Yeah.
item,
Yeah.
which might be counterintuitive because you're then using your phone to play the game with something that you used to not playing your phone to play the
Yeah.
phone, you know?
It's an interesting concept because everything about mobile video games is designed to keep you like a casino stuck in the app, because the longer you're in the app, the more likely you are to do like microtransactions and add banners and shit like that, right? Like they want you in the app and staying in the app and online, like that's the financial incentive for them. And so to create something that's like the whole like 180 from that, right? Of like this is designed for you to not use is wild, but it fits that kind of niche area of like people that are really trying to quit. And if you can still give them stuff to buy, because like in the thing you can also buy like new skins for the bean, and you can give it like a different, like a kind of a bean, or like turn it into a cat. You're still gonna buy all that crap, right? So they're still making money off microtransactions. It's just that the game is don't use it, which is both funny and interesting for sure. Because there are video games that I've played that have like a similar feature, but you're kind of right, Adam, where it's like they're Dragon Quest, I think it is. One of them, you like send your spies out to do missions or whatever, and then a timer starts, and it might even be like 3 days, right? And then it'll come back in 3 days, and you'll have whatever resources or whatever it might be, right? So there's like these kind of off-screen things that are happening, but in the meantime, you're still very much like engaged with the app and playing on the game or whatever it might be. So
So you have to
interesting.
just wait for these guys to come back, and you don't know what happens in this 3-day quest.
Yeah, essentially that game, you sit at like a king's table, and you have like spies and assassins and all sorts of different resources stuff, and you make choices. You're like, hey, go build this tower, go invade over here. I want secret information on these people, whatever it might be, right? You have a bunch of different missions, and you send them out, and then there's a time limit. So some of them are like 30 minutes, some of them are 2 hours, some of them are multiple days, and after the time limit, there's usually like a success fail record as well. So like you may not get it. You have to
Oh
like
yeah.
have the right people in the right places and have them all leveled up correctly to actually do whatever they're trying to do. So you might spend 2 days trying to do a thing, and then it fails, and that shit sucks.
Uh,
Um, but it was cool. What was the name of that game? It was Dragon. I can't remember it. It's gonna kill me.
that does sound pretty cool, but also pretty frustrating.
Yeah, it
Sounds
definitely
sounds
could
pretty
be.
close to life.
I mean, for sure. No, fuck, that wasn't it. The hell was it?
So, how I was looking up like 90s gadgets and toys and type of deal. The latest like craze right now with like the kids is these little dolls. Have you guys heard of them? They're called
Labubus.
Labubus.
Oh God, no, I
Labubus.
have not heard of this.
You've not heard of the Labubus?
Oh
I
no,
don't know if I want to know, man.
You do want to know. They're
they're
goddamn amazing. The
they're,
Labubus.
they're pretty horrible.
Are you gonna pull it up? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, there they are.
Sounds like today's Teletubbies.
Kind of more like the Beanie Babies, like the craze of the Beanie Babies
Yeah,
is
yeah.
kind of what everyone's saying. It's actually really interesting because well, they're a part
They're
of
scary looking.
yeah, some people are like
It's
they're
pretty cool,
demonic,
actually.
you know.
Yeah.
But they're a Chinese company, Pop Mart, that creates them, and they sell all kinds of little toys and stuff. One of
It's
the
on
interesting
sale. Hey,
yeah. So the way to buy these, right? If you go into a store, you can't buy that guy. You buy a box, and the box, it's like a Pokemon card deck. You don't know what's in the box.
Oh
And so
damn.
part of the craze, right, is that you're kind of gambling. You could get something that's a special edition, super in demand that everybody wants, or you could just get the fucking, the million edition that every single person has and it's completely worthless, right? And so like they've kind of bought into that fad, and that's part of the reason why it's been super popular. And it's interesting. It's an
I'm
interesting way to
surprised they
market,
haven't
right?
made a. I'm surprised they haven't made a Labubu meme coin. Do they have a Labubu meme coin?
You should look it up. I would, if I was a betting man, I would bet there's a Labubu meme coin of some sort. There's a freaking, it's like Rule 34, but like Rule meme
Oh,
coin. Yeah, there it is. There's anything you could possibly imagine. I guarantee you there's a goddamn meme coin for it. It's wild.
let's take a look at the chart.
Well, I don't know why, but
Crazy
I
active.
like the way they look. They're kind of intriguing.
They're well designed, like they're really like high quality from what I understand. I've never touched one, but from what I've heard reporting wise, they're supposed to be pretty legit.
Labubu.
They're also, they've gotten so big that there's knockoffs too. It's called a Lafufu. So you need to make
Right.
sure that you've got a Labubu and not a Lafufu, because if you have a Lafufu, you got to like count the teeth apparently, because the Labubus have like 9
Yeah.
or something, and Lafufus don't have 9 or something.
Ladudu.
It does bring up this interesting thing that's been happening more and more in modern day times, which is like high end brand knockoffs are way more like well produced than they've ever been, right? With like all the technology advances, with a lot of leaks too from like Gucci and Hermes and all these like really high end brand makers, like from the actual manufacturing plants, and sometimes in like third world countries, Vietnam and other places. They released or sold, some of the designs and like the secrets to how these things were made, and so like they're really hard to spot fakes nowadays. I was watching one where like it's like a reseller for, I think it was Hermes, but they actually employ even like X-ray machines to see the density of like the fabric and stuff like that to try to spot the difference between a knockoff and a real item, which is, it's just fucking crazy, right? Like at what point does it really matter if it's that good? Like it's sort of like the natural diamond versus like the lab grown diamond. Like why? Who the fuck? No, you can't know the difference. Like it's impossible to tell. It's crazy.
Yeah, at that point, the knockoff's just as good.
I find it funny
Tell
with the
your wife.
diamond thing. Yeah, go ahead.
No, nothing.
I was just gonna say like the diamond thing's funny because the way I'm gonna tell everybody what this is because I know all about this, of course, but I believe that the way that they check to see if a diamond is real is if it has flaws, because real diamonds have flaws, lab diamonds don't. And so the fake
Sounds
is
like a chat
actually
GPTQ.
the fake is actually more perfect than the natural, right? And yet it's worth more because it's got flaws in it, because it's a thing that occurs naturally versus a lab grown. It's always very interesting.
It sounds right. It sounds right. I would buy that for $1.
There you go. Why would you doubt me? I know everything. I know more than Chat GPT. That's how it works.
I
For
am
sure.
curious though, because it sounds like a good explanation.
I mean, we have the internet.
But people do care. People do, even if they can't tell the difference. They want the real thing. Why is that?
Well, it's rarer. It's also, more. You get it. It's sort of the same thing with the Labubu and the meme coin, right? Like the only true value of any object is whatever people are willing to pay for it, right? That's the true value of that object. There isn't like an inherent value to gold. There isn't an inherent value to oil or any of it, right? It is solely based on what we largely as a community are saying that this thing is worth, which is why
And
like all those
scarcity
helps. That's a factor. But like if I make a drawing, right, which is essentially what those stupid fucking drawing, what were those things? Not the
Labubu.
meme coins, but they were like the drawings that people were like selling, and they were, you know what I'm talking
NFTs.
about. Yeah, NFTs, right?
The Hunter Biden
Non-fungible.
drawings.
Yeah, no, not those. Non-fungible tokens, right? So like I can create a drawing. That drawing is a singular object. It is a one of a kind. It is a supremely rare object. Problem is, I drew it. Nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean? So rarity is like one part of why something is valuable. The other part is that people want it. And the more people that want something that is rare, the higher the value goes, but it still is dependent upon what people are willing to pay for it, right? So when
Supply and demand.
Eminem,
Yeah.
yeah, and when Eminem made his meme coin, it was the like white ape thing that he had done, or NFT, sorry, not meme coin, but he did the NFT. It's Eminem, right? So people paid a shit ton of money because it's an Eminem, NFT, and it sold for like I don't know how many millions and millions of dollars, right? And so like in that case, it's valuable, but in other cases, it's not. So it's
Huh.
yeah. I mean, finances is really funny for sure, right? Like that when you start really looking at like what the value of something is and how our whole economic system is set up. It's a bit of a house of cards.
I mean, yeah, value lies where whatever value we give it, right?
Mm,
Look at money.
mm.
It's a piece of paper, right? But we give
Legal
value to it.
tender.
I,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So there's I'm gonna go to D&D because I always do, but there's a thing in D&D and fantasy, right, where like and in The Hobbit too, right? It's called dragon sickness. So if a dragon has sat on top of gold for long enough, it gets a curse. And anyone that then touches that money becomes cursed with the curse of the dragon, essentially, right? And it's usually always based around greed and like obsession and control and things like that. And so the money itself actually is the carrier of this curse. And I remember there was I did a thing. I think I think it was like a $20 bill, and I took it and I just wanted to rip it up to see if I could for some reason. I don't remember why. I was probably really high at the time, but like I pick up the $20 bill and I hold it up and I'm like, what does this money really mean? And I go to tear it, and there's like I feel it in my soul. There's like a pull on me to be like, do not rip this. You know what I mean? Like it took real willpower for me to actually rip that apart. And it was a really interesting like reflection moment of like, oh, this thing has like legitimate like mental power over me. You know what I mean? This piece of paper that
Or
has
the weed.
no, or the weed. I mean, the weed is probably also part of it for sure, right? Like I can't deny that. But hey, pull out like $100 bill and try to rip that thing up, man. You're going to be emotionally scarred as you try to do it, right? Because it's like that $100 bill doesn't just represent $100. It represents all the things that you can buy with that $100. So you're not just ripping up the bill, you're ripping up all those possibilities. And like
Essentially, it's a store of
psychologically,
energy. It's a store of energy and labor of some sort.
yeah, if you were gonna go like physics, right? It's what is it, kinetic energy, right? Stored potential energy. It's not been
Mhm.
used, but it's kind of like a battery. It's sitting there, it's charged, it's ready to go. It just
Mhm.
requires a release of you spending it. And so yeah, it's really wild when you kind of think about the psychological impact of money on people's brains. Um, it's a trip for
I feel like we
sure.
could have a whole podcast on just money in general.
Oh, I'm positive we can for sure. But I mean, this one's about the Labubus, is what it's about.
The Labubus, but also,
The
Michael, you were correct
Lafufus.
about the natural diamonds versus the lab
Nice.
grown diamonds.
I never doubted you for a second, Michael.
I don't know why anyone would. No one should ever doubt. This proves that I know more than everyone.
Yeah,
By
they
the way,
have different kinds of flaws that are more
yeah.
noticeable, right? So, common natural flaws include tiny mineral crystals trapped inside, feathers, small cracks, irregular growth patterns. Lab grown diamonds have two main flaws. It's HPHT, sounds more like a venereal disease of some sort. HPHT diamonds have a tiny metallic inclusions from the process. CVD diamonds all can show growth lines or color zoning.
I'm guessing HPHT is high pressure, high temperature.
Maybe.
That sounds. Why? You know what? From now on, here's a new rule for the podcast. We're not allowed to. You can double check someone quietly, but like vocally, we're not allowed to be like, I don't believe you. You just have to. You have to go with it until it's proven otherwise. That absolutely is correct. I 100% believe that that is what that means. How could it be
That
anything
is
else? It just
correct.
makes. Yeah. Yeah. I for whatever reason, I got stuck on watching on YouTube Shorts. Did you guys watch the Uncut Gems thing with Adam Sandler? It's a movie. Ways back.
No.
The what?
It's called Uncut Gems. It was a Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, I fell asleep.
So I don't know if he actually won like an Oscar or something, a high end award for that, but it's one of those movies where it's kind of like the Truman Show in that it's like Adam Sandler legitimately acting, super dramatic, like it's a real like drama movie. But he is a diamond salesman in New York, and it kind of goes over like that scene, right? And I think it's supposed to be in like the 80s or something. But it's like how all that scene worked, how they like hustled back and forth and made money, and it's based on a real guy, and he's on YouTube, and you can watch his shorts, and he's super awesome. But I got stuck on him and like a couple other people that are like watchmakers and resellers and like diamond gemstone people who are like looking at gems and shit on there and talking about it, and it's super interesting. Like they can tell by looking at like the color of an emerald and the type of inclusions where it was dug out of the ground. So they can look at it and be like, this was mined out of the Chilean mine. So this is a Chilean emerald. And, therefore its value is like whatever, the value of that is. And it's crazy how like detailed they're able to go just off of those small little details. Very interesting.
How much information is encapsulated in a tiny gem?
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's why people like the natural ones more than the lab ones, because they represent this very, so many things have to line up in perfect order to create that naturally, and then for it to come to the surface and to be found and mined, and like it's such a Herculean effort compared to growing in a lab, which is relatively simple process that they've been able to figure out. There's nothing really magical or romantic about that. It's just something born
Yeah.
in a lab versus like it was forged in the fires of Earth and for millions of years sat there until some guy dug it out of a pit, and now it's on your wife's finger, and like it's just way more story to that, which is also another factor of why something's worth something, is if it has a good story, compared to something that
Yeah, it's
doesn't.
almost like you're connected to forces, the forces like that are larger than you,
Hmm.
forces of the earth and the universe.
Yep.
And that kind of represents something
Yeah.
magnificent. I could
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
You put it that way, I could see that. Uh, Up until this point, I would say that wouldn't matter where the diamond came from. But
Yeah.
if you put it that way, I'd buy that.
Yeah. I think I can appreciate the natural one. Like if I was to see it and think about it in that context, it's cool. But like if I'm about to shell out 30 grand for something that I could buy for 5,000 and it would look exactly the same,
Yeah.
suddenly I don't care as much anymore. It's a nice story. I'd love to look at this thing and be like, wow, my mind's blown at what this thing is. But I mean, I maybe I'm just not in that like Frank level money yet, where like I can realistically think about trying to buy those things.
Do you guys know how gold is made?
Like the in the earth, like how gold is actually made.
It's not
Like,
made in the earth.
Is it not made
Diamonds
in?
are made in the earth.
Bro,
not
I'm
made.
fairly certain gold is made in the earth. What are you talking about?
Doesn't it have to do with quartz?
No.
Well, hold on.
No.
Gold is
What?
an element, right? It's on the periodic
Mhm.
chart,
Sure.
and so
Yeah.
it is literally an element that exists on our planet. And
Sure.
it
Does
has
that
to
mean it
be
doesn't
made.
exist? Does it mean it doesn't exist anywhere else?
No, that's not what I'm saying. It exists all over the universe, but like our
Mhm.
planet, right, is a what is it? A rocky core planet, right? Solid core planet. And so
Mhm.
it has all of these heavy metals at the base of it, right? And it has all this mixture of different elements and metals and things inside of it, and through all of the like pressurized furnace
Gold
that
is
is the Earth.
probably the most interesting metal to me because it's made through like supernova explosions and like neutron star collisions. It's not something that's made under like just like high pressure or something. Like some crazy shit has to happen in order for gold to be made. Like we cannot recreate gold without like nuclear like fusion in a feasible way. Like it's an extremely rare like element. It's really, really cool how it's actually made that way. So
So does that mean all of the gold on Earth was made like billions of years ago in some
yeah,
cosmic
yeah,
explosion?
yeah.
And so whatever we dig up is just remnants of that.
Yes,
It's
sir.
not continuously being made
No, it's
from the
not.
Earth and
It's
pushing
a
its way out.
finite amount on this planet.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's very, very interesting.
Sounds like Michael's chat GPT in it.
I'm no,
Ah,
I'm actual researching. Fuck ChatGPT. He don't know nothing.
well,
Yeah, that's well, so I mean this is saying while its origins may be celestial, its journey on Earth is just as fascinating as it undergoes a series of geological processes to become the glittering metal we know and cherish. So how is gold made? Gold atoms contribute to creating the Earth, which, with possibly more subsequently arriving within meteorites, took millions of years of geology to evolve into gold deposits. Well, so I mean, I guess intense heat and pressure work their magic on the ingredients needed to create gold. Hydrothermal activities. One of the primary ways gold forms is through hydrothermal processes. In these scenarios, hot fluids rich in dissolved minerals, including gold, rise from deep within the Earth's mantle. As these fluids move through cracks and furnaces in the crust, they encounter cooler conditions, causing minerals, including gold, to precipitate out and accumulate over time. So I think the atoms of gold are what is created solarly, but they're atoms. They're like, you're talking about
they're
something that's
condensed
tiny
and
pieces
yeah,
formed here. Like you wouldn't like you wouldn't see the solar version of gold and be like, that's gold. It has to come here and then condense under the heat and the pressure and be combined, and then spits out what is gold
yeah.
essentially.
It
So
combines together, it collects, and yeah,
yeah, which I think is somewhat true of the diamonds and stuff too, right? Like technically, if you listen to like Neil deGrasse Tyson and other people, like everything is stardust, right? The Big Bang Theory, everything was condensed in one thing. It exploded, and you have all of these everything that makes up everything was spread out everywhere all over the galaxy, right? And it constantly gets like recycled. And so like the atoms that make up diamonds, that make up amethysts and rubies and all those things also have like celestial origin, but it coalesces here on Earth and other planets into what they
Isn't diamonds like super high pressurized coal?
you can get diamonds. And I think that is actually how they create the lab grown diamonds is they do that in a lab. They create a pressure tank essentially, and they literally like fucking transmute that shit into diamond under intense heat and pressure is how that works, which is wild.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the Earth in general it's a pressure cooker, right? And like underneath the surface, it's you want to if you like again we're kind of sidetracking the Labubu talk and the '90s stuff, but I did see I did see another
it's all right. Fuck the generations
yeah yeah
after us.
yeah fucking Gen Z don't know. I was watching another one where it was it's geothermal power, right? So how do you tap because underneath our feet is like more power than we could ever use in terms of geothermal, right? And the problem is you have to get super deep in order to actually access the temperatures down there, right? And so like at certain places, I think it's like in Greenland where there's like those volcanic access points, right? They can tap into the natural occurring geothermal vents to then turn turbines with steam,
sure.
or drop in water into that hot area and it evaporates, turns into steam, and then you turn turbines or whatever you're going to do to actually generate electric power. But there are multiple companies right now working on how do we drill all the way down deep enough to where you could actually get to I forget it's like superheated water. So you would have to like drill miles deep and then pump water down and it would super heat and evaporate so quickly that it turns into this weird state of water. And then they would have to capture that steam venting and create the power of it. One of the problems is that like kind of like fracking, when you dig down deep and then you start pumping water where it shouldn't be, you get a lot of weird side effects. And so like when they were trying to frack, right, there were all these things about like the shale getting fucked up and like gases getting into water tables. And you even had some and there was apparently this one notable event when I want to say it was China. It was some country did this where they dug down deep and they pushed water down there, and it created an earthquake. Like a big earthquake is attributed to this process, right? So like there's an inherent danger in doing these sorts of things. So one of the ways around it is that they're trying to dig miles deep and then place piping all the way down so that it's a closed system rather than just shoving water into the environment down there, right? It would be a closed metal tube essentially that would still be superheated, but then you would dump water and it would shoot back up as steam. And so, yeah, Earth is what's the type of civilization in the alien type where it's like you've mastered the resources of your
Type 1.
planet? Is it type one? And then type two is like the solar system. You've mastered the power
The
of
local star. Yeah.
the local star would be type two, right? So we're not even technically type one because we haven't even mastered, our own Earth and how to generate the energy that resides inside of it.
Right.
Would those pipes be, if they did the closed system, then would it technically be like uh regenerative re what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, are you
It
talking
would
about
just
like
recycle itself. So like the water, you could pour the water in, it would steam, the steam would condense and then fall back down into steam, come back up, condense, fall back down, and
that's
just like
Self-contained, like a
yeah,
self-contained system or something, like or
yeah,
yeah. Well, I think there's perpetual energy, right? I don't know if that's what you were going for, like perpetual energy machines, and then like
maybe.
self-contained, right? So like it's self-contained and probably I don't know if you would like lose like leakage through somehow you would have to continually add more water to this equation or not. But I imagine they would want to make it as efficient as possible and create it so that yeah you're just using the same amount of recycled liquid again and again and again to pump a turbine. um and it's perpetual in the sense that like as long as the earth has that heat in it, it's going to keep generating energy, which is ostensibly forever from our standpoint, right? Like there's by the time the Earth would cool off enough to not generate the heat to power that kind of a technology, that we would all be
I think
dead,
the sun's gonna outgrow before the Earth starts cooling down. I think
right? So like
it'll grow to the point where it will get swallowed up.
it's almost limitless, right? Like and for all intents and purposes for us, it is completely limitless. And so like if you could poke these things all around the globe at different places, you would have an unlimited supply of never ending fuel that you could power everything, which is what some people are trying to work on right now. Um what is it, the cost benefit, right, is not correct. Like it takes way more money to try to dig these things and start generating power than what you can pull out of them at the moment. So that's got to switch. But maybe AI will save us, or the Labubus. maybe the
Sorry
maybe
guys,
the
I lost video. Just keep talking.
maybe the Labubus are here we go. It's a CIA psyop campaign. The Labubus are really the aliens. Like those are the aliens. They're just prepping us for first contact, right? So we're all okay with when they step off of their fuzzy, adorable UFOs with their pointy teeth. We're like, it's a Labubu.
So I looked into ChatGPT asking it what's more likely to happen: the Earth's core cooling down to the point where it'll, uh, you know, essentially not work anymore, and we'll
Mhm.
lose our, um, or for the sun to swallow us up, or at least engulf to the point to it'll just fry us.
Mhm.
So we have about 10 billion years for the core to completely cool and solidify. By then, Earth as we know it won't even exist. The sun will run out of hydrogen fuel, though, in about 5 billion years. It will then swell up to a red giant, expanding so much that Mercury and Venus will be swallowed, and then we'll just be a cinder at that point because it'll be too close to us. So the sun will swell and burn us before the Earth's core will cool.
I think we'll figure out interplanetary travel by then.
Hey,
5 billion years, I sure hope so.
Me too.
or we'll just be dead. We could just be completely dead. Although I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I feel like I have to disagree with you. I've seen the movie Core, and that movie tells me that it's imminently possible that that is going to happen. But you guys
Yeah,
remember
but
that
that was
movie?
because of a human intervention.
No.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. The planet was cooling of its own. The Core movie was that they had to drill down and deposit nuclear bombs to
Yeah, why is
restart
that?
the core.
Right.
Like they
Why
were.
was that though?
What was what?
Why did they have to drill down and detonate those nuclear weapons down there? Because they shot a weapon and they essentially stopped the heartbeat of the Earth, essentially with the weapon.
The humans did it.
Yeah, they built it as a military weapon, to create seismic
No,
activity across the planet or something, and they shot some
no.
weapon off, and it stopped the Earth from spinning.
I don't
You
remember
are.
the cause. I remember that movie, but I don't remember the cause.
Here we go. This is so small. Okay, so this is the plot. Several small, disparate incidents involving the Earth's magnetic field cause whatever scientists to conclude that the Earth's molten core has somehow stopped rotating. That has nothing to do. What the hell are you talking about? Unless
Well,
restart of the
the,
field is set to collapse within months, exposure is devastating. U.S. government backs secret project to build a vessel to drill to the core, release nuclear weapons. Yeah, it was a natural occurring phenomenon
Is
that
it now?
they. Hey, look, according to Wikipedia, that does not lie.
Wikipedia, my ass. Okay, hold on. I've seen this movie tens of times.
You've probably seen it more than I have. At max, I've seen it 3 times. I can't,
I just remember the diamond layer that they went through.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. It was a fun idea, right? Like going to the core of the planet and what you would see and all that stuff. It was ridiculous, but it was.
It was like the movie Armageddon in reverse.
Yeah.
It was like the opposite of Armageddon.
Which, look, we should all appreciate Armageddon. Armageddon was an amazing movie.
It was a U.S.
phenomenal
government project called Destiny. Remember? It was like, and then Rat was trying to stop Destiny, right? Remember that little skinny guy?
I don't remember this at all.
I'll
give in and believe you because it seems like you've watched this more than I have. I don't remember there being like a evil plot going on necessarily. I remember
It wasn't an evil plot. It was just like a mistake.
Interesting.
Right? It's like it was just like a secret government weapon that they shot off, and they're like, "Oh shit, we didn't know that it stopped the core."
Like cardiac arrest for the Earth.
Yeah,
I think that I remember hearing that exact sentence. Somebody like they did the thing in science fiction movies where like somebody explains something in like super detailed scientific jargon and no one understands it. And somebody's like, "You mean like cardiac arrest for the Earth?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Oh.
It's one of the bedrocks of like scientific movies where you have like the ridiculous scientific explanation, and then somebody's like, "It's like pumping too much air into a balloon," and you're like, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah, that's what I need. I need the layman's explanations.
Yeah. Which one is this? Oh, that's what it's called, I think. Yeah, have you guys seen? It's called Alexander.
Yeah, he's right.
That son of a bitch. How dare you?
You're saying Wikipedia was wrong?
Well, to be fair to Wikipedia, it just didn't mention it, so I don't know if it just didn't say this didn't happen. It just didn't talk about that.
It said somehow.
It did say somehow, but somehow is technically.
That's a cop out.
Technically, yeah. That's I mean that was to segue back into the 90s stuff. That Core was a great movie for sure.
Yeah,
There were a lot of in 2003 was when the movie came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a lot of like, real good environmental movies back then, right? Like the global warming thing was real big. You had Day After Tomorrow came out.
Yeah.
You had the Core had come out. Armageddon a little bit earlier had been out for sure.
Wasn't
Rather,
that M. Night Shyamalan movie kind of a global warming movie, or am I tripping?
which one?
Remember the one with the wind, like it carries the
Oh,
plants, whatever.
They
I
carry the
know.
what?
Yeah, M Night Shyamalan did a movie in which, like, that movie is out of pocket, as the kids say. Like they somehow he turned the wind into the like villain of the movie. So like
Yeah,
every
it was like
time,
carrying like plant spores or something like
yeah,
that.
the trees had fought back against humanity, I think was the basic plot, right? Like somehow we pushed too far, right, and against the natural world, and the natural world was pushing back, and the
Yeah,
trees had like developed this defense mechanism that released like killer spores. And so like throughout the movie, right, they're like standing in a field, and suddenly you see like wind start blowing, and they're like, and then they just start running away from like
yeah.
as the wind starts blowing.
Is it called
It's
The
so
Happening?
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
it
that
is.
sounds right. Yeah, that was a funny ass movie. They're like jumping into the cars and like pushing like socks into air vents and like locking the doors and shit to hide.
Yeah, it must
So
have
the
been hard to direct that.
M
so the
Night,
sport make you commit suicide?
that's right.
Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
what it
that is
did?
right. Yeah, they were like people were
That's
just
so
so yeah.
fucking crazy.
So like one day, right? Everyone wakes up one day and suddenly everybody's just fucking killing themselves gruesomely, and no one know what's going on until they start figuring out that it's the trees. The trees are releasing the suicide pollen, which, to be fair to M. Night, like there is, maybe he was watching a nature documentary on that ant and the fungus, right? Because there is that one crazy fungus. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it'll get into an ant and it will take over their mind. They call them I think it's called the zombie fungus.
Yeah.
And it will force the ant to, I think, travel upward and then attach its mandibles to like something solid. And then the fungus emits from its head in this giant column, and then it explodes into a bunch of spores that then go infect the other ants, right? And it's crazy because it's a super predatory fungus that focuses, I think, on one single species. So they've evolved like very specifically to attack one species and one species alone, and like gestate in their bodies and then reproduce again and again and again. And they can wipe out like whole populations of like insects with this. And it's so intense that the ants have learned this, and so when they see ants acting weird, they will actually force them out of the colony, and I think even kill them because they know that it's like turning into a zombie essentially, and it's going to infect the
Infected.
whole population, right? Like it's crazy. So to defend M. Night, who I've not always defended M. Night Shyamalan and his movie choices, but yeah, that maybe he had some actual real world origin to that one.
Apparently that fungus infects other insects too. It's just not
Does it?
ants. Beetles and spiders.
I thought it was individual strains of the fungus that went with individual species, but yeah, it's terrifying, right? Like, uh,
Ophiocordyceps.
yeah, yeah, you can like even The Last of Us, right? The video game and then the movie was essentially that. It was turning fungus into zombies. So in those movies and video games, that was kind of like the zombies were these fungus monsters.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It's like that. Have you heard of that parasite that infects mice so that they like the smell of cat urine, so that they go towards cats, and then the cat will eat it, and then it like infects the cat, and then does something to the cat. Man, I gotta look this up because it's a wild one.
Yeah, that level of like
Repeat that again. Run that by me one more time.
Okay, so there's this parasite. There's this parasite that infects mice so that they like the smell of cat urine, so that they will go towards cats and not be afraid of them. The cat will eat the the mice, get
Damn.
infected with the parasite, and then it does something to the cat that I forget. But it's like its end goal is the cat.
what's
You gotta
hard to
look it up because it's
understand
pretty
about that,
fascinating.
Frank. That was so straightforward. that logical chain of events from one species to the next.
I'm telling you, dude, it's a real
It's
thing.
I don't doubt you.
Crazy.
Like it's we like a Lovecraftian like eldritch horrors, right? Like fear of something that is advanced, like it's intelligent to a crazy level, but it's just wholly different than us. Like it's so different, right? That we just cannot understand it, right? Like that level of complexity is just wild, right? Like to jump, like to intentionally entice one species into being eaten by another species in order to like reproduce or kill or feed or whatever it might be, right? Is just next level terrifying, right? Like how smart, how ingenious, how upsetting is it that there are things out there like that in this world that are so like powerful and organic? It's truly upsetting.
So it's called Toxoplasma gondii.
Just throw in a
Yeah.
Gandhi there for now. Just throw out some shade on Gandhi, like that
G
guy.
Gondii.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's
Are you looking it up, or you want me to?
I'm looking it up. I'm reading it. I'm still trying to believe it. It's pretty impressive.
So what does it do to the cats? I forget what it does to the
No, it
cats.
just that's its final host, and that's where reproduces.
Okay, and then it kills the cat.
Yeah.
And then the mice eat the cat and get reinfected. And then they
Eh,
love cats, go towards the cat. Boom. Cat eats the mice.
Cat eats rat. Parasites get into cat's gut. Life cycle continues.
yeah.
Humans can
Somehow
catch taxoplasmia too. Plasma. Taxoplasma.
we're just
Undercooked meat
hosts.
or cat litter.
Do you suddenly
That's
just
why I
like
hate
start
cat.
craving the smell of cat piss? So like if one so the PSA for everyone, if you suddenly find the scent of cat piss alluring, it's possible that this little parasite has gotten into you, and you should seek immediate medical attention because you are now under control of the brain slugs, and they're gonna get you. That's wild.
Yeah, don't eat mice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like when you start getting into like the parasite world, there's a lot of really terrifying stuff. There's that one like brain eating amoeba that like at least a couple times a year I hear a story about that, about how somebody usually they were using like the like nasal rinses, right? Like they sell like I don't know if you've used them, but like this like you just water and you spray it up your nose and it cleans out your sinuses. And you have to use like the I forget about like the highest grade of filtered water, because if you don't, there's a chance that this amoeba, especially using like water in like the mains and stuff like that, will get into you and it will just kill you. It'll eat your brain out. Like it's terrifying.
Mhm.
Is it the same one that's in like warm
I
water,
mean,
where like in Arizona, there's cases of it. Even in California, I've
yeah,
heard cases of it where it's like it has to be in water,
yeah,
warm water. So it's like kind of rare since it has to be so warm, but it's like 80 and above, 80
yeah,
degrees and above, it can survive. And so, like if you're swimming in Arizona in warm water, you have to like make sure you're getting nothing up your nose, or don't even dunk your head if the water's warm. If it's not,
yeah,
then it can't survive.
yeah,
But yeah, it'll eat your brain.
yeah. And there's just nothing you can do. It's just and you just can die because that thing eats your brain out. And it's yeah. Yeah, we are living on the razor's edge of being dead at all times, and there's a myriad of things that can kill you horrifically. So, yeah, life's a shit show. Take that,
And then you die.
Labubus, and then you die. Yeah, life's a fucking
Good show's
horror
a shit
show,
show.
and then you die. That's how fucking life works. Sorry, were you here for like inspiration? Fuck that. You're gonna die a horrible death, probably by a brain-eating amoeba, maybe by being unrealistically attracted to cat piss. Something is gonna get you, and it's gonna murder you in a horrifying way, for sure. That's just
I think that one of the things in the future that we'll look back and be like, man, I can't believe people in that century did that. I think we'll look at cars that way. Driving thousands of pounds of steel with exploding mechanics
Hmm.
within 10 feet of each other going 80 miles an hour,
yeah,
relying on
yeah,
the human's reflexes and cognitive abilities to
mm,
not and millions and millions, billions of people doing that, and that's how you commute. That's how you like get around. I think that will be looked on as like You know, totally just like can't believe they did
So
that.
you're for full self-driving autonomous vehicles?
I'm for something totally different. I don't even know what it is, but
There was
yeah,
there was the did you guys watch, actually it was iRobots. It was the Will Smith, we talked about this movie in the other
Yeah,
podcast, but
yeah.
in the movie iRobots, Will Smith's character pulls out a motorcycle, and it's a gas powered motorcycle. Everything's electric, everything's like automated controls, right? And there, I forget the female guy, I think she's like an engineer or something. She sees him pull it out, and she's like, "What is that?" And he explains it to her. It's like, "Oh, it's an early, 19th century motorcycle or whatever he says." And she freaks out, and she's like, "Don't you know that's a bomb? You're just riding around
yeah,
on a
yeah.
bomb. What the hell's wrong with you?" Just like fucking flips out at him. It's really
She's
good thing.
something. He says something about gas, and she's
Just
like,
flammable
that
fluid,
explode."
flammable fuel. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's like when, like, nowadays, if you were to think about like steam plants and like how, like, steam trains and like that technology, how it worked and how they were utilizing it, like it's pretty crazy that they were creating these gigantic systems off of just steam turbines, and that was kind of what was driving all of the technology for like a good portion of like the late 1800s to the early 1900s. Very dangerous too, because you just had these things that were like essentially pressurized bombs that could just fucking explode. If the pressure
I mean,
gauge
Yeah, I mean,
look
fucked
at your
up.
water heaters in
Yeah,
almost everybody's houses. When those go off, that's not pretty.
you know what I mean. Like you
no
like,
kidding.
and if you think about like a train, right? Like you've created a steam engine that is powerful enough to move, like, I don't know how fucking hundreds of tons those things are. Like, if you've ever seen like a steam train like actually doing its thing, like it's fucking crazy that they were able to generate that kind of energy to move that off of fucking steam. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying I'm against cars, but I think it will be
yeah,
looked at as wild. However, whatever we evolve to, I love cars, motorcycles. Like the combustion engine is amazing, but I think it'll still be looked at as like really primitive and wild. Like you
Gotta
guys
start
just
somewhere.
played roulette every time you got like every day you're just playing roulette, getting on the road. With however many car accidents and deaths there are each year, everybody knows it. Everybody still gets on the road, and it's like you know playing playing roulette every day.
no, yeah, I it's interesting because like when you look at the way we've organized our societies, right? Like originally you had lots of rural communities that were farming, agriculture, stuff like that, smaller towns kind of everywhere. And then you had some big cities, right? Suburbs are somewhat of a new creation. I forget when the first suburb was created, but I want to say it's like in the 50s. And it was designed around the outskirts of the big city centers, right? So you had like city centers that were production hubs for like, creating, manufacturing large things. Then you had the rest of the country, which was largely like smaller rural stuff. And then the cities started growing bigger and you needed to house the population. So you started creating suburbs around the giant, cities, and people needed to get around, right? And then you needed to be able to shift goods. So you get, the railroads, you get the interstates, you get cars, you get commerce and transit and all those things. But now we are, it is the new era, right? Like we are right now sitting having this conversation, recording this, you know, in a way that is remote. You don't have to be all in a room to do this, right? A lot of work can be done remotely, and so like you could see something in the future much more akin to like like China does it, where it's like forced, right? Like you were born in like let's say Beijing, like you have to go to school in Beijing. You have to, like, that is your city. That's where you live. You're not allowed to move outside of that city, right? Like that's your location. And so, you could see something where it's like maybe not forced, but just people stay in their little hub, right? Like there's less reason to actually travel unless you're on vacation or whatever it might be, right? So you just see reduced levels of transit and then increased, bringing whatever you might need closer to you. So it's within walking distance, it's within, public transportation distances, things like that. And you see kind of more of a phasing out of that like mid to long range car driving that is necessary at the moment. Could be a way to go.
I'm going to show you what the future holds for us soon.
Uh
We just need those
ominous.
tubes like in Futurama.
Soon, this is what it's going to be like. Oh wait, hold on. Am I not sharing?
Oh, is this
Okay, you know what it is, Adam? You were
Demolition
sharing.
Man?
Yeah, it's a great movie. I still like 80s had some of the best fucking. Was it 90s? Was it 80s? Was it early 90s? It might have been early 90s.
How come it's not doing
It
sound?
was
This is
terrible.
gay.
Is that Sandra
The
Bullock?
oh yeah,
I think that was Sandra Bullock,
Mm.
right? Yeah. Wow, she was
yep.
young in that for sure. That's
Also
crazy.
share audio entire screen. Share audio. There
Another good one. I think it was a little bit after that, but The Fifth Element. Man,
Oh
that
fuck
was a
yeah,
good
Fifth
movie.
Element's goddamn great movie.
Yeah. Are you guys able to hear it?
Please. No, I
No,
hear nothing.
Oh, what?
I think when you
There we
share
go.
screen, you have to include audio. There's like include computer. Oh, no, I got
oh
it.
there it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, there it is.
Wondering if you would like to.
Term for the hunka chunka. Hey, babe, you want to do the
Yeah,
hunka chunka?
but basically, yeah, it's like we're just gonna evolve to everything's gonna be completely, more, I don't know, safe, up to date, right? Like they even in this movie, they even outlawed salt because it's bad for you, right? Now, is that
Yeah.
a good thing or is that a bad thing, right? So it's
Well,
like,
well, in this movie, it was all bad, right? Like, 'cause you had Demolition Man had been unthawed, and he was like, it's such a like I can't. They should remake Demolition Man today because it just is the culture wars. Like it, like literally, this like man woke up and is like, the fuck is this liberal pussy bullshit? What is going on? Like it's the whole fucking movie. It's just him.
That's
It's
a good
like,
point.
when did you lose your testicles, society? Like him just like fucking exploding people's heads and like having real sex with people again and like. Yeah, that's a hilarious ass movie. Also, Wesley Snipes is in that shit too.
yeah,
What's funny also they kind of hit on so with the sex thing and then with toilet paper too.
Yeah.
I think
right,
toilet paper needs to be upgraded. Like that'll be
right,
looked
true,
back on as like,
Here's the thing.
man,
Toilet paper has been upgraded. It's called a bidet. It is a
sure,
better way to
true.
actually wipe your ass than shoving paper up inside your fucking crack. You know what I mean?
That's
But
true. There is a solution, just not everybody embraces it.
especially like yeah, that's there's a lot of people in America. It's like it's a little gay. It's like I'd rather have my fingers up there wiggling around than a jet
I'd
of
rather have a
water. I
dirty
don't know,
ass.
man.
Well, here's a question though: how do the three seashells work?
It is a good question. It's a terrifying
That is
question.
the ultimate question, Frank.
That's one of
That
those
is
questions.
beyond what is the meaning of life. That
Yeah.
is the question.
It's on a level with like what did Meatloaf mean when he said I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. It's like that and what is the three seashells? Like how does that work? The great mysteries of
The
the
three
world for
seashells,
sure.
man.
I love how they never told you in the movie. That was just great.
I hate
No,
it. I want to.
that I mean I love that about storytelling, right? Sometimes the best thing to do is to not explain something because it's so much better. There's no explanation you could give that
Right.
would be better than whatever the hell people are imagining in their own brains, right? Like, and it leaves that like air of mystery around it, it gives it that kind of mystique. So yeah, I love that kind of device in a story. For sure.
No, I feel like that's good. Also, like when the bad guy wins, like you don't really see that too often in movies. Like I think the last real good
Mm.
movie that really let the bad guy win was like, what was that? The Marvels movies when Thanos snaps everybody, he just
Well,
vanishes.
so it's a good. Are you? There's two types of movies, right? There's a movie in which the bad guy is the main character and you're following their plot, right? And so like when they win or lose, right, you're that is the main like focal point of the story. And then there's a movie like the Avengers where Thanos isn't the main character. He just literally is a villain in the background, the bad guy. And then, in that one film he gets a W. Which one are you referring to? You like the
Yeah, the one where he
the
snaps.
hero story where the villain wins or the
I think
villain
that was
story
Infinity
where the villain
Wars
wins? You know
or
what I mean?
the end. Is it Endgame or
It
it
would have
is
been
Endgame?
I think it was Infinity. I think
Infinity
Endgame was
Wars. Yeah,
the last one. I think it was that.
What about The Usual Suspects? That's a good one where the villain wins.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
What? You haven't seen that?
It is a classic.
Oh, dude, it is a classic. You
Yeah.
put that on the list, man. That is a good one.
All right.
With Kevin Spacey
Mm.
Oh, poor Kevin.
and
Benicio
I
del
forget who the
Toro.
other character is. I don't know his name, but it's a good one.
Benicio.
There's
yeah.
actually a lot of good actors in that.
Mm. Yeah, so like
Is
go.
it Benicio del Toro? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I love Benicio.
Yeah, he's good. It's a great movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of good. Was that early 2000s? What was that movie?
1995.
90. Oh, mid. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That.
Good.
Who else was in this fucking thing? 10 years. Yeah, there were some like legit good movies in the like mid 90s, and
What about
into
video
the.
games? What are the top video games in the mid 90s?
I mean, for us or for everyone,
90s.
right?
Mm.
That. So it's always crazy when I think about this, right? Because like we were pretty much all 9 in 1999, right? And so like
N64. N64 games.
for sure we
Rush.
were
Mortal Kombat 4.
yeah,
Rush
Mortal
and Rush
Kombat,
2.
all of the Nintendo games, the Rush driving
Mario
games. I think
Party 1.
by then PlayStation was out too, though. PlayStation and I think Xbox One was out as well. So you would have had like Halo, Red Faction in like '99. You would have had those games. I forget
Diddy
when
Kong
PlayStation
Racing.
came out. You would have also
Perfect
had like
Dark.
Gran
Duke Nukem.
Turismo on PlayStation. Doom was out on
Doom.
computer way back.
But then
Like
Dreamcast
the
was out
days.
in the 90s, I think.
Yeah. I think
That
you would have to break it down by genre, right? Like for me, like my video game story, right? The first console we ever had as a family was the NES, the original, you know, controller A,
I
B,
remember that.
start, select, up, down, left, right. Like that was all that was on there. And so like I played games, like Mario, the original one, and then
The dirt bike game for that was
Rygar.
awesome.
There's a dirt bike. There's one called Rad Racers, which it's to this day has the best fucking soundtrack. And it was one of those games where it was like a racing game, and there was like it was just lanes. So you had left lane, middle lane, right lane, and you were following the car, and you could move to this lane or to this lane or to this lane, and the whole screen would track towards you. So like the cars would come at you, and you had to shift around the cars. You couldn't really
Right.
accelerate or like do any like movement like this. It was just like jumping back and forth, right? And that game was fucking dope. Mike Tyson Punch Out was like, dude, Mike Tyson Punch Out is still one
That
of
was
the
a good one.
fucking greatest
Yeah.
games of all time.
That
I
one
played
dude, that big dude who would flex his pecs before you
Yeah.
fought him. You remember that?
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah, and also just like horrifically, just riddled with racial stereotypes. The whole game was nothing but racial stereotypes. It was like
I don't remember that.
it was like the first guy that comes out is I think it may not be the first guy, but there's like the French guy who's like super like femme and like floats around a lot, and then they have like this like Russian guy who's like just ridiculously Russian, and they have like the Turkish guy. They have a fucking Indian dude with a turban on who like blinks out of existence with the thing on like the dot on the head like lights up as you're trying to punch him. Like phenomenally racist in that kind of like 90s era, just ridiculousness.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't notice it as a kid.
No,
you
you
don't realize those things.
No, even now I think it's kind of reminiscent of like what WWE used to be, right? Like back in the day, in the 80s, right? You had a lot of like very racial archetype characters. You had like the Iron Sheik, and you had a lot of like the Samoan characters would play like a lot of these like barbarians or like voodoo people, right? You had like the what was his name? He played the pimp character who was like the black guy, the Godfather, who was in WWE. He always wore like the pimp hats and would have just like a stable of women around him at all times, right? Like they just leaned heavy into like every kind of possible stereotype you could in like 80s WWE. And it was hilarious, right? Like a lot of it was really, really funny. The problem was that they would never branch out, right? So you had like these very like heroic white characters like Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart and these people that were like able to be just wrestlers that didn't need like a racial background to justify their existence in WWE.
I see.
So like that was kind of like the problem. You still did it a little bit, right? Like there was like even today you have like Sheamus is a wrestler, right? He's a big giant tall Irish dude with red hair, right?
What
And
about the
just
Undertaker?
Undertaker's again, he's white, so he's able to.
He
It
didn't
got
lean on
better
the whole
too.
Rachel thing. He
Yeah, it
just
wasn't a.
leaned on the whole death thing.
Yeah, his whole thing with I've heard him talk about it a lot, right? And so like his inspiration for all of that was like the slasher films. So Jason, Michael, that's where he was like getting all of the imagery from. Like even that like Undertaker was famous for doing the like he would get knocked down, lying on his back, and he would just do the like he would just get straight up,
Yeah,
right?
he
Like he
just
would
pop
just like
up. Yeah.
pop up out of nowhere. Everyone fucking loses their goddamn minds, right? And that's literally like Michael Myers in the movies, right? Like that is what he does all the time. Like he gets knocked down and he just does that move, and it's exactly what the Undertaker was doing. But yeah, I don't mind like I think if you are doing it to everyone, if you're including white people in the kind of poking fun of racial stereotypes, I think it's acceptable, right? Like it should be fun to make fun of people in a good natured way. It's a thin line between doing that and being just outright offensive and like regressive and shit like that. But
And the
some
good
good,
guy's always the white guy.
yeah,
Who's just like a normal white guy with no like flaws or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. You can go the opposite way with it too, where you end up like where like you can't ever cast a black person as a villain because like it shows black people in a negative light, right? You don't want to do that, so you're doing like reverse racism, where you're like intentionally trying to like safeguard black people or minorities from a bad image, which is also
Right.
unfair, right? Like there's all kinds of different people, there's all kinds of different stories, and we should tell all of those stories and not pigeonhole it into one thing or the other. Some of the best
And how do
caricatures,
you do
though,
it? How do you do it without somebody getting offended?
it's I think the way you have to do it, and the only way you can do it is to just to make the things that you enjoy and to kind of tune out the rest of the stuff. If society is going to be like absolutely not, then you're not going to be famous. You're not going to whatever you're doing is not going to work. It's not going to land, and you're not going to find an audience. And clearly it was a bad try. But the second you start trying to create stuff for other people, I think is when you kind of gotten in your head as a creator, and you're like, it's just not
Well,
going to
I
work.
think when you've gotten in your head is when you're trying to not upset anybody.
Yeah.
It's like you're obviously trying to make it for people because you're trying to draw the attention of particular audiences, at all, and whatever it is that you're doing. So that's always going to be part of it. But it's just when you try to take too many people's, you know, sensitivities into consideration, then that's when you're just going to fizzle out, in my opinion. I think
Well,
you have to, at some point, you have to take a risk of offending somebody because you're always going to offend somebody.
well, but that's what I'm
Always.
like. There's
Yeah.
always the back and forth between, like in the example of movies, right? The studio wanting to sell movies to a certain audience, right? Versus the director or the writer or whoever's created this thing is trying to tell a specific story, right? Like they're trying to get a specific story across, and they're not thinking about who they're offending. They're just like, this is the story I want to create, right? And I don't want any changes to it. And then the studio comes in and is like, well, but we really are trying to attract people, women in the age group or men and the boys in the age group of like, 16 to 34. And so we want you to do this, this, and this. And you should really put in some, advertisement here. And that's when you start losing the authenticity of whatever it is you're doing. Right. I feel like for a good period in the like mid to late 2000s, it really movies went into a pretty shitty place and we're just kind of very devoid of a lot
Kidding
of
me? I think
good
nowadays we're in a
content.
pretty shitty place.
I don't think so. I think there are a lot of really good movies. There's a lot of really bad movies
Name the
out
last
too.
good movie that came out in the last 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to say The Phoenician is pretty good, which was the Wes Anderson. I love Wes Anderson movies, so I would guarantee that one's pretty good. Like there are good movies that come out, but if you're talking about like Disney movies or like big budget movies, probably not. I liked the newest Alien that had come out. Romulus was really good.
Covenant?
Like this. No. It was after Covenant. They just redid another one recently. It's called Romulus. Go watch it.
There are a
Called
couple movies
Romulus.
that I haven't seen that I've been meaning to see.
Yeah.
I think Formula One. Is it Formula
Oh
One?
yeah, I wanted to see that. Yeah, that looked really good with Matt Damon and Christian Bale. Was that the one? No, that was the Ferrari one.
Brad Pitt, yeah.
Yeah, Brad Pitt.
I haven't seen it yet.
It looked good.
I think there was also another superhero one too.
Fantastic Four just came out. I heard it was good. I don't know if
Dude,
you
I
guys
don't
saw
even
the
know where to start with all the Marvel movies. I'm
Fantastic
so
Four.
not
Start
caught
with
up on all that
Fantastic
stuff.
Four. Adam, you love so they brought Galactus, true Galactus into it, which is dope. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've seen enough of the previews. So Galactus is in it. Silver Surfer is in it, although it is the female Silver Surfer, so it's a little gendered there. But it's a part of the comic book. It like they didn't pull it out of nowhere, right? Like there is a female Silver Surfer, and
I
that's
didn't know there was a female Silver Surfer.
it's his wife. I want to say in the comics is the Silver Surfer's wife is also another Silver Surfer because Galactus
They got to give him
enslaves
a
them.
partner. Yeah.
You know, it's always how it kind of went. But the cast is Pedro Pascal's playing Mr. Fantastic, which is dope because I love him and everything. And then the rest of the cast was really dope too. I can't remember all of them, but it looked really good. It got really good reviews. They were kind of doing a retro feel to it, so like the technology and the time period was kind of in the past, which is cool. Also, Andor, the Star Wars series Andor. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh, dude,
No.
I was watching it because you recommended it, and and I was like 3 episodes before the end of the season, and Hulu took it off.
Oh no,
I didn't finish it. Yeah,
it was
good
good
though.
though,
Adam,
right?
you know what? You know what?
Yeah.
You're in luck because remember that one show that we recommended? It hasn't been taken it off Hulu. It's called Naruto.
God
I don't know
damn
what
it.
you're talking about, Frank.
Called Naruto, man.
You need to watch that shit.
Gotta watch Naruto.
You mean all 80 seasons haven't been taken off of Netflix?
To be fair to Adam, I do think it's probably just like the Shippuden run. I think it's like it's probably like the first season and up through like the end of Shippuden, and then they stopped because they're still going with that shit. I don't even know if Boruto's on there and all the other crap they're still running, but yeah, they make
What do you
good
guys
stuff.
think
They
about
do
the
make
remake of Cinderella?
I
I
haven't seen
didn't
it.
see it.
Is it good?
I'm
I didn't see
sure.
it. I
Is
didn't.
it?
Bother. I didn't bother to see it.
Well, I
I
can
mean,
talk
maybe
about
they did a killer job, but you never know.
I can talk about the Snow White one, which was a big controversial thing. Which I don't know if
Oh
that's
no, it
maybe
was
the
Snow
one
White.
you were
It
thinking
was Snow
about.
White, not
Yeah, yeah.
Cinderella.
Why was it controversial?
So okay, controversial for multiple reasons. The story of Snow White, the story of most of the like original Disney princesses are bad stories. They're not very interesting. The female characters are very much not interesting, right? They mostly just sit there and do nothing and wait to be saved, right? Like it's not a good plot. And so they revamped the plot. They made her more of like a rebellion leader, right? So rather than just being somebody who's passive in the story and gets saved kind of by being kissed by the prince and all these things, right? Like she has a real like plot in the
Damsel in
story.
distress.
Exactly. They're trying to get away from that. So for that, it was controversial. She's also Indian American and not Native American, but Indian American. And so that was controversial because obviously it's an originally white character. And then on top of it, there was probably the biggest blow up that happened was with the dwarves. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, right? And so in the original version, they had cast actual little people to play the dwarves. Peter
Naturally.
Dinklage then went out and just really kind of smashed the decision. Like, why are we still doing this? This is regressive. Like, why are we still like the dwarves that tinker in the mines, right? These are the only roles you're going to give to little people. Like, he kind of really shit all over it, and he made some points which were countered by a lot of other little people that were like, "Hey, we want to work in this industry," and those are you're costing us jobs. Not everyone can get cast as Tyrion in Game of Thrones. Like
Right,
you're
yeah.
Peter Dinklage. We are trying to make it here too, and you're kind of squeezing us out. It's not cool. So Peter Dinklage went on that rampage, and then the studio got scared, and so they fired all of the little people, kicked them off the show, and, and, and then they changed them into magical creatures and cast a bunch of like San Francisco hippie looking people to just be like dancing around in the background, and these were going to be the Seven Dwarves. And they started releasing what they were doing, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, holy shit, that looks terrifying." So the studio got even more scared, and then they decided, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna CGI the cartoon dwarf characters into the
Oh God.
movie. And so, yeah, 3 different iterations of a movie. The plot was terrible at best. Like it didn't work. Like it was just such a standard evil queen, and we're gonna like the poor people, and I'm the people's champion, and we're gonna save the day. Like it was just boilerplate bullshit storyline.
Just forced, super forced
Terrible,
movie.
terrible forced movie. And yeah, there they are. There's
Ay, ay, ay.
which thank God they went like they were like, you know what? No, like we were gonna try something, but no. So there's the one right there. The bottom left tile is the one with the CGI dwarves in it. Yeah, click on that one. So this
Oh, it
is
looks like a
that's what
drawing.
that's what they landed on, right? So those are actual CGI characters that are in the thing, so as not to offend little people while not paying little people to play little people roles. It's
What
like
a clusterfuck, dude.
the whole thing's a fucking fiasco. And then like, but even still, like I'm very open. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this movie. I'm gonna try it because I love musicals. I'm a huge musical fan. Like I love Wicked, I love like Sweeney Todd, I love Hamilton, I love Has Been Hotel. Like I love a ton of musicals. I'm like, maybe it'll be cool. It was the worst music I've ever heard in my life. Like the singing was terrible, the scores didn't make sense. You had Gal Gadot played the evil queen, which Gal Gadot is awesome. She's super gorgeous. She's like a great
Is
actress.
that
The Superwoman,
Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman. Sorry, yeah, Wonder Woman. Gal
It's Wonder
Gadot
Oh yeah,
Woman.
played
she's gorgeous.
yeah, she played the evil queen, which should have worked. But so there's a song that she sings where she's doing this like talk rapping in them, and it's like, what the f- are we doing? Like, who okayed any of this? Like, there's not one part of this movie that works. It's a fucking tragedy. It's about as bad as it gets in terms of a movie. It's a cluster. It's almost as bad as the Cats live action movie, which I don't know if you guys went near that thing.
Oh,
Oh no, no, sir.
nope.
Did you see
Nope.
it, Adam? Did you see what it was?
No.
No. Frank, pull
No
up an
way.
image. So Cats was similar clusterfuck. The Cats was crazy. You had Idris Elba, you had Ian McKellen, the guy that played Gandalf. You had I think Taylor Swift was in it. Like you couldn't get a
Yeah.
bigger cast. Like it was every famous person at the time, and it's one of the most beloved musicals of all time.
Wonder
And
if
yeah,
it was like some kind of a shaming ritual. It's like, hey,
holy
if you want
shit.
to, if you want to hold on to your faith, if you want to hold on to your fame, you have to be in this fucking movie. If you
It was
don't,
so
we're gonna
here's the
take
thing,
all
right?
that away.
Here's the thing. The actors didn't know how bad it was because they were CGIing them. And so they were doing this not knowing what the end product was going to look like because they were shooting it and it was
Yeah.
motion capture. And then, yeah,
That's a real issue with modern movies is like they don't know until it's out, until it's
yeah,
the movie's out, what they're actually
click on any one of those
being a
photos,
part of.
Frank. And like just do the one to the left, just the close up of the faces. Yeah, yeah. Just look at this. Just look at this tragedy. Like it is just horrific. It's weird. It doesn't make sense.
Are they like cat sized?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Shit looks like a cat with a face on. Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So they are tech. So in the world they shot, the rest of the world is bigger, but they're humans. So they look like humans, but like furries. So it just looks like a furry human, but like a small furry human. And they're running around and they're doing these dances, and it's just a fucking train wreck. There were all sorts of stories of like because no one knew, right? And so the openings happened, and like people like drive-in theaters, like everybody was going to go see it, and like there are images from like social media of like 3 minutes into the film, just exodus, everybody just getting up and walking, driving their cars out of the drive-in theaters. Like Judi Dench is in this movie. Like how like
Whoa.
the fucking Mike Myers Cat in the Hat was a better version of like a cat person than this fucking shit. It is
Still
probably
creepy,
the
but
biggest. It's like take acid and go watch it. You know what I mean? Like you will, like it'll fuck you up. I'm sure. Like it is a nightmare fest. But yeah, sometimes, again, when the studio gets involved, it's really really bad. Wait, one last one. Do you guys know Ugly Sonic? So
You
Frank,
mean like the
type
first
in
one that they were going to release
yes,
with the
yeah.
human
So
teeth?
there's a whole. I kind of thought you were asking the last podcast. What conspiracy theory do I believe in? I kind of believe in this conspiracy theory. So in the
Ooh,
original, no, I think it was the original. In the recent Sonic releases, the first movie they had put out. Well, so this is you're looking at two different things. So that one right there is the real one. So that was what they were originally going to make Sonic look like, and you could
didn't
see
the original one look like? I think I saw a picture. It looked like he was on drugs or something.
yeah, so they did a funny thing in the Rescue Rangers, which is there's like that guy. A couple of these are from the Rescue Rangers movie where they were making fun of this person, but they I wonder which one it is. Yeah, I think we go back up to the top, Frank.
Maybe try
Actually, right there,
typing
to the right there.
original
Yeah,
ugly
click on
Sonic.
that. No, to the left. One to the left. Yeah, click on that. So,
Uh,
no, to the right. The one where it's the side by side of the two of them. Yeah, okay. So on the right is what they had originally designed and what they were going to release, right? And so they had created an image that was supposed to be kind of more human, right? Like it was trying to make it look realistic. And so they made the eyes smaller. They gave him human teeth so you could see the teeth in the mouth, which is fucking
yeah.
weird. It doesn't, I don't know if you scroll down on that article, if it'll show more photos, but they gave him like weird, like feet and like everything, the way his body was designed, like everything about it was fucking just like absolutely horrific and incorrect. And they released artwork of what they were doing, and the fucking internet exploded. Like they were like, "This is like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?" Like the backlash was unbelievably large. And they then, and it was, I think it was supposed to release pretty soon when they released stuff, and then like the internet blew up. They switched tracks. They brought in the original character designer or one of the guys that worked on like the comics and the cartoons and stuff, and they redesigned it to be the image on the left, which is faithful to like the cartoon. It looks very much like the video game and the cartoon character, whatever it might be, and it's like it works. It's perfect at 100%. And because of all the hype, right? Because everyone freaked out about it when they gave them the image that everybody wanted, Sonic became this massive success, right? And so the conspiracy theory is that it was a troll job, right? That they intentionally made something horrific, dumped it on the internet, everyone lost their mind, which got it more PR than anything anyone would ever have. You couldn't even like, develop a PR campaign that good. So it got eyeballs on it. And then when they released the good Sonic, suddenly everyone was super happy. So you got super attention with the drop of Ugly Sonic. And then when you introduce the good looking Sonic, suddenly it's $1 billion movie. You know what I mean? So that was kind of like, was it a fuck up, or were you just, kind of gaming the system and troll jobbing the public into thinking that's what you were doing?
It's kind of like I think it's plausible. It's like designed obsolescence, where
Mm.
a gadget will come out with a feature that everybody wants, but it purposefully doesn't have, so that on the next release, then everybody loses their shit and goes and buys it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they also did the similar thing with back, I want to say the 80s, could have been the 90s, where they introduced new Coke. So there was Coca-Cola, and then they tweaked the formula, and they said, "Hey, guess what? We're not making Coca-Cola anymore. We're making new Coke." And they released it, and everyone fucking hated it. It was like, how dare you mess with the formula? But then they were like, no, we're just kidding. And they introduced real Coke back, and their sales went like through the roof because they got it was like the Twinkie thing, right? Like suddenly you can't have it, and then we're going to give it back to you. So there's this weird pull the rug out from underneath you, right? And capitalize on your like natural human instincts in those scenarios. And yeah, they're clever.
I mean, it's smart. It's smart. Credit where it's due.
Mm-hmm.
That's smart.
Every now
If
and
you don't
then,
have any competitors, I guess, right?
well, if you own a product like Coca-Cola, iPhone, like certain products that are the product, right? Like Coke has competitors. It's got Pepsi, it's got RC Cola, it's got, any number of cola similar products. But it's Coke. It's Coca-Cola. Like everyone, like that. It doesn't matter. You're all second. You will always be second because Coke exists. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No. But yeah, that was a pretty wild one. They do that from time to time for sure. You know, kind of messing around with the different product releases and screwing with people's brains for sure.
Yeah. And
yeah,
similarly to how, they've butchered up movies and things like that, I feel like certain companies try to kind of get political as well. Like you see what happens, the polarization of the LGBTQ community where they have, was that one person on the Bud Light, or was it Bud Light or
she was a
Miller?
trans.
Yeah.
She was a trans influencer that I'll let you finish your statement before I jump in on this one.
Well, I mean, I
The
think
whole thing.
you see the stark difference about how people react to it, and also I think it's a testament to how businesses should focus about the product and their customers, as opposed to trying to push out a political message of some sort when it may not land with their particular customer base. Right? When you look at what happened with Bud Light in comparison to what happened with the Sydney Sweeney, is that her name? The Jean
It might
Oh,
have
the
been
the
jeans
jeans
thing.
thing. Yeah, you see the differences in the differences of outcome of what happened there. Right? It's
Good
like on
jeans are
one, the stock
beautiful.
tanked by a third. On the other one, it
It's
increased
so
the stock.
I don't know what happened with the Bud Light thing. What was that?
the Bud Light thing, right, is it's the culture war. It was one of the linchpins of the culture war movement, especially with the LGBT community, right? And so it was kind of pre-Republicans taking everything over and really kind of winning on a lot of the fronts in the culture war. And so most companies were very much of the mindset that they had to placate liberals and liberal ideology. And so they were intentionally including, trying to be inclusive of LGBT themes and motifs and stuff like that. Target did it a lot. They had for Pride Month, I think they had like specific items they were selling in the store. And they even went so far as to have like apparel that was like, if you are a woman who identifies as a man, you're trying to hide your boobs. It was like clothing for transgendered people is what they were trying to do. So like this was the backdrop of the time period. Bud Light did something very, very harmless, which is there was a transgendered influencer. That's her right there. And all they did was ask her to support the product. And so she made a spot where all she does is drink Bud Light and be like, Bud Light's great. I love Bud Light. Like that's literally the only thing she says. I don't think she mentions that she's trans. It has nothing to do with anything other than her being like, I like Bud Light. You should drink Bud Light.
He's just a famous person drinking Bud Light, as far as the intention was.
Yeah, well, I mean, the intention was that she was trans, right? Like they wanted the trans influence. Like that was Bud Light's intent with it, was like, this is innocuous enough to where the right won't care, and it throws a bone to the liberals. They're like, hey, look, transgender representation, like nobody's gonna get pissed at this, right? Like she's not in the spot talking about transgender. The liberals will be happy. Conservatives will mostly not make this deal, and
Okay.
the backlash was immediate. It was horrific. She
From
was
who?
well.
Their
So
investors,
the
maybe?
the no, well, no. So the backlash came from the dark corners of like 4chan and the Republican strongholds of the net who found it, made it an
Those
issue.
people are never happy.
Yeah, but see, but when you have a president in the White House that will retweet their bullshit, then it gets amplified, right? And so they started posting about this, and then you started getting real politicians and real famous conservative figures posting about it, and then it exploded, right? You had Kid Rock doing like a YouTube short of like taking Anheuser or Budweiser products, putting them like on his property and shooting them with his machine gun and being like, fuck trans people. And like
Oh
that was
my
what was going
God.
on. You know, like it exploded from a trans person being like, hey, Bud Light's cool, into like, fucking goddamn liberals, fuck you, and just like machine gunning beer cans, right? The Republicans
Wow.
the Republicans call for a boycott of Bud Light, and their sales tank because who drinks Bud Light? Republicans, white, heterosexual Republicans drink Budweiser, right? And so immediately starts tanking. And then the the company freaks out, and so they just trash the spokesperson. They cut her off. They don't pay her any money. They fire, I think, the people in charge of everything. And they're like, no. Sorry, it was a mistake. They fucked up all this shit. In which case, it lit off the opposite side hating Bud Light as well, because it was like, on the one side you had the Republicans being like, fucking how dare you use a trans person, and then rather than sticking by their guns, they cut off the trans person, who then pisses off the liberals, and so suddenly Budweiser has fucking pissed everybody off. There's not one demographic that doesn't hate Bud Light at that point, and which is why it just fucking tanks their stock, right? And
so good.
Like, that was, and then Target had a very similar thing happen with the clothing thing, right? Where they waded into the transgendered issue, which really was the flashpoint, right? Like these
Wait,
ones.
Wait. Not this jeans one isn't.
No. The jeans one's a separate thing.
Very much not transgender.
It's very, very different. Yeah.
I was like, wow,
that's a good. Hey, if that's a transgender woman, that's a very good looking transgender woman. I will, for sure. But no, the Target thing was that, again, they were celebrating Gay Pride Month. They had included gay products and like the flags and stuff, and some clothing that was designed for transgender people who are trying to hide their gender. It got blown up, same thing, blown up in 4chan and the dregs of the right-wing society, amplified to the point where like Target employees were being threatened by people coming in off the stores and be like, you're grooming children, fucking smut, you're trying to blah, 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 fucking molest children, you fucking pedophiles, fucking Target. Like, 18-year-old kid working at Target being attacked and accosted by a right-wing nutjob 50-year-old fucking douchebag. You know what I mean? Like, it was disgusting what was happening, and Target didn't want to deal with it, and they buckled, right? And then same thing, right wings hate them because they included transgender shit, and then when they cut it off, the left was like, fuck you too, and suddenly Target started plummeting, and now Target's like fired its CEO, its CFO. They're like way behind. They got fucked by it because they just completely got pissed everyone off. I think that this is some other bullshit. These jeans that Frank's just gooning on this woman is what's happening here. He's just like going slowly through these photos. Like, you should. This is some. I
this is the opposite
this
spectrum, right? So it's like
for sure. This is right wing.
That's trying to promote transgenderism to people who are very, very heterosexual, and then you have a company, Eagle, American Eagle, putting a very attractive woman to try and draw in the crowd. Like, I mean,
yeah,
the problem was, I think they got a little bit more favorable results with the latter.
The problem wasn't that she was attractive. Like, it was, no one was mad that they used
until they found out she was Republican.
No, it wasn't even that. That wasn't. Go back to that image really quick. Just
it was the line that, like,
yes, it was the line
about having good genes or something.
It was the tag. It was the fact that you have this very blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman delivering a line deadpan about how good genes indicate beauty, something along those lines. If you pull up the actual quote, we can look at it. But like,
do you think it would have been an issue if she wasn't white?
No, it wouldn't have been, for sure. Yeah, it would not have been an issue if she was not white. But when you had, like, this is the you have to know what you're doing, right? Like, they had, hopefully somebody was aware enough to, it's on there. Just type in Eagle Jeans controversial line and it'll
it's like up. I've got good genes or something like that.
It's a good genes, but the line is actually, there it is. Sydney Sweeney has great genes, right?
Right. That can't be talking about her tits.
No.
Honestly, like, if I saw that without hearing about the blow up before it, I wouldn't have even thought twice about it.
So there's multiple things happening here. Number one, this didn't just, so the way that marketing works, right, is that generally there's a marketing company, and a marketing company will sell ads to lots of different companies, right? Like, all of the American Apparel, Bud Light, fucking McDonald's, like, they will go to marketing experts who will design campaigns for them, right? And so this was one of a couple of different ads that were all coming out that were loosely themed around genetics, right? Like, that was the kind of like underlying tone, like messaging
There
on
were
what they were doing.
others.
There were some others that were involved in that. You can I don't know if we could find it, but I know there were at least one or two other ones that I had seen that were also talking that used like a genetics kind of theme in their product placement. And so it's harmless, right? Like it's a pun. Genes and
Of
genes,
course.
right? Like that's all it is. That's the only thing that's happening here. Like, yes, she's white. Sydney Sweeney does have great genes. Look at her; she's goddamn gorgeous. Like that's.
I mean, I literally would have just thought that it was because she was hot, and that was what the pun was.
I like the Jack Black
No,
one.
like
That's
she has
phenomenal.
great genes, like she's hot.
No, for sure, right? Like, and that's the intention. But we are in the middle of the culture wars, so saying that in that way
It makes
on the
for
back
good
of
headlines on newspapers. It's like, oh my
yes,
God, they're being, racist or whatnot, or they're being
it's
xenophobic or
a
whatever. Did
well,
my
it
video
works
just
on
cut
multiple
out?
levels, right? It did, yeah.
Yeah.
It works on the political level because each side wants to use it for their own purposes, and that's the true reality of politics is that politics is colorblind. It's about power, and all they don't really care about minorities. They don't really care about white people. They don't really care about any of that bullshit. They
Aren't
just
white
care
people the
about
minority?
what the hell are you talking about? In what that it's a weird comment
In
to
the
jump into.
US?
They're not the minority. If you no on multiple levels, no. So like if you combine all other minorities to group in one giant super group, I
Actually,
still
you know
think
what?
white people outnumber them, although it's close. But that's not how shit works. So like no, white people are not the minority.
What do you
White
mean?
people are
Aren't
absolutely the
numbers what
majority.
determines the majority?
No, but you're assuming that all minority racial groups are
I'm
the
not
same
assuming.
thing,
I'm
which
looking
is
it up.
not.
All I did was ask a question.
Do you think
You said
that
aren't.
they knew
Aren't
it would cause backlash and just figured that it would be bad
That's
news or bad
yeah.
publicity is good publicity? Any publicity is good publicity?
I would believe that. I think it was a thing that they put out, and they're like, "This might stir some controversy, which will get people talking about our brand, right?" And I think that was because it is like at its core, it's harmless, right? Like, yes, it was going to flag. They probably even sent
ah
it to people that they knew. Yeah, I
non-Hispanic?
don't know.
61 with as non-Hispanic.
Yeah, it's white people are absolutely not the minority
Hmm.
in this country. That's an insane statement. But
That's an insane question.
sure, question posed as kind of a statement. I like questions that get posed as statements too. Sometimes they're fun. But yeah, like I think that was the intent, right? Like it's harmless in general, this comment, and they probably the marketing team probably sent this to liberal activists that they knew would freak out
Mm-hmm.
because they
Focus
wanted
groups.
yeah,
They have to do focus groups.
and they knew and it brought up all of the shit and then they capitalized on it and it's like that's the game they all play, right? That's what Bud Light was trying to do with the transgender spokesperson. They just failed miserably at it. Like it can work or it cannot work, right? When you play these kinds of games. And the sad part is you would hope that if a company has a moral stand, it's a moral stand, right? The general problem is that most companies have never ever ever made a moral stand. They're pretending to make a moral stand to take your money. And the
Right.
second that
Yeah.
they can't take your money, they renege on that moral stance, and that's been the
Their
case.
morals will change with whoever the highest
Yes,
consumer is.
because their morals are not morals that's based on making money, and so like that's what people forget, I think. And America is so like we are a corporate society through and through, right? A capitalist society at our fucking bones, and it's only getting even more so. Like Donald Trump just today, last couple days, announced that like he's
You're
trying
cutting
to
out,
make
Mike.
the deal with IBM to essentially get 10%. No, can you hear me now?
Deal with
No.
IBM to get what?
Trump is trying to cut a deal with. Adam
I
seems
can
to
hear.
hear me. Can you hear me, Frank?
Mm.
I lost your video, Frank.
Yeah, your video's still down, Frank.
Yeah.
I
Let
don't
me
know
go
what's
ahead
going on
and
there. Pop out and back in.
yeah.
Trump. So last couple days, Trump announced that he was going to try to cut a deal with, I think it was Intel. I think it was Intel. It was about the chip manufacturing, and he had said, it was also funny because like at first Trump was like, the leader of Intel is a horrible fucking person and he sucks and he's all this stuff.